All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and who also were well. Peace and salutation to those of the hopeful elect. Just want to do a quick hit lesson going into, prophecy, man. And, every time we see the words of Yahweh Shema Shai coming to pass, it only increases our faith. All right, because, the word of the Lord is going out, and it's being proven over and over again. I mean, shoot, the events that's happening right now was already written of thousands of years ago. The Bible, all right, is the only book that deals with prophecy. Okay. So let me get a quick precept before I get my initial passage I wanted to go into. Bear with me real quick. Here it is. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 37. And it reads, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack." All right. So these are the plagues that Yahweh Shema Shai, prophesied that the Lord said that he was going to have plagues on the earth in the last days. All right. And now, we're in a time of the Lord's great anger, where the Lord is going to judge the earth, on a mass scale. All right. And we know that the Lord, the way he visits the earth is via judgment. All right. The scriptures also say the Lord is known by the judgment in which he executeth. All right. So these plagues is a direct strike from Yahweh Shema Shai. Now, all kind of stuff is happening all over the world. We have food shortages, and collapsing societies. All right, it's taking place. All right, and in America is getting hit, with all kind of different, plagues going into, the heat waves that's over here on the West Coast. All right, you have a water crisis, over there in Mississippi. All right, more pestilences, is lurking. People are still, suffering from the ramifications of the yabber jabber do. All right, these are all plagues that are being increased, as well as crime is increasing. And America is experiencing, pretty much a collapse. All right. It just haven't fully happened yet, to where, everyone is out of a job. So these are all the plagues of Yahweh Shema Shai, which was, written to happen. Okay. In these end times, because Esau, Edom will be ruling the wicked. So now the Lord is finna make, it's finna judge the earth, because under the rule of Esau, the whole earth is polluted, man. So therefore, the judgments are written to happen in our time. All right. And this is the time where the highest, all right, will begin to judge the earth, which he made. All right. The Most High Yahweh is going to send his only begotten son, to make war with the inhabitants of the earth, man. All right. That's how bad this world has gotten. All right. But leading up to the finale, the Lord returning, you're going to have all these plagues, these biblical plagues taking place. All right. And a lot of people succumbing to the judgments of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay. So I'm going to continue to read. Well, actually, let me get this real quick. Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2, and I'm going to start at at 3, just to hit the point. It says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. This is verse 2. Verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right. And the vision is speaking about the prophecies, man. You know, the things that was written before or spoken of before through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shema Shai, those things are happening. Okay. And a culmination of all these plagues and spirits created for vengeance, you know, the Lord put a title on that time period. It's called Jacob's trouble. All right. Where there's going to be a season of, you know, total chaos. But within that, you know, the Lord said that he was going to have a remnant that was going to be preserved through the perils and delivered. Okay. But nevertheless, these things are happening right before our eyes. Speaking of, you know, the events that the Lord said. All right. So going back to 2 Ezra 16:37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. All right. And, you know, they're no longer tearing. OK, like we read in Habakkuk 2, you know, the vision is yet for appointed time. At the end, it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it. All right. Before it will come, it will not tarry, roughly paraphrasing. All right. So now we're in a point where the vision is not tearing. All right. 2 Ezra 16:37. Again, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So the Lord is forwarding everything and speeding up. All right. The destruction. OK. So with more chaos, it's just going to give, you know, this devil an excuse to come down with that wrath. You know, have the devil more of an excuse, you know, for to send out, you know, the troops. All right. That police state. So it says back in 2 Ezra 16:38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. Yeah. And the Lord is likening, you know, that build up to the grand finale, the Lord's return and the destruction of the missiles of America. That whole process is being compared to a woman with child. Okay, with those birth pains, and those birth pains represents, you know, all the different plagues that's hidden. All right, and they're just fluctuating. It's getting more and more prolific. Okay, so it says, verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Okay, and that's where we're seeing that sorrow is going to be on every side. All right, the scriptures say the day of the Lord, you know, is going to be like a lion, like a man was met with a lion, and then he escaped the lion, and he was, you know, attacked by a bear. He escaped the bear, which these are all which you would call a quote unquote miracle to escape these things. Just one of them. All right. And then it said he laid his hand on the wall and got bit, and a serpent bit. You know, that's going to be how it is in the time of that great day, man. So, you know, that time is coming. Let me continue to read. Verse 40 says, verse 40, it says, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Yeah, because everything is finna be through. You know, this devil Esau, Edom, once this place starts getting worse and the money system break, Everything is already owned by Esau, Edom anyway. So they're going to be seizing, people's homes, people's property. They're going to be seizing people as well, So in that day, the Lord said we're going to be as pilgrims on our earth. Brothers is going to have to be, on the move, and just relying on Yahweh Shema Shai the whole way. All right, because we clearly see, the Lord is going to continue to judge this place. More catastrophe is going to take place to the point where, it's a, total civil unrest. All right, that's coming to America. All right, people is going to go through sorrow and sufferings on every side. All right, let me get a quick precept. And when people, is going through shit, they become irrational, and they start acting even more animalistic than they already do. They resort, to violence, rape, robbery, That's what people resort to in that lower, that lower vibration. Okay, they can't control themselves, so they're going to be going crazy, So let me get this precept and I'll begin to close it out. This is Jeremiah chapter 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. All right, so we have to prepare for that day like no other. Okay, and the Lord is preparing his elect, his servants. Lord's will, we part of that number. That's why, our lives has hell in it, which everybody's going through hell. But, the Lord is putting his servants through a different type of hell. It's a whole different program with the men of the Lord. All right. So the Lord is doing these things to try our faith so that, we'll be able to be hardened for the time like no other, because there's a lot of crazy stuff is getting ready to take place, and the fear of the Lord, and the Lord is going to increase our fear towards him via seeing his judgments, So it says, Jeremiah 30:7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Because this is the time where the Lord is going to perform his best work, okay? Even the time of Jacob's trouble, which Jacob, as you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Seminole Indians. It says, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, so that deliverance is going to come within. That's a part of the Lord's great work, okay? Because the Lord, also, rejoices in mercy. So on one hand, the Lord is going to judge the earth, like in the time of Noah. And then on the other hand, the Lord is going to bring forth and show forth his mercy with the greatest deliverance, So, we're in beautiful times. And, the Lord is getting us prepared to be able to, endure. All right, because the scriptures say, Salakia, Jake walking outside and stuff. Matthew 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right. So even though it's going to be wild, crazy, nevertheless, it's written that somebody is going to be delivered out of it. 1/3, which is a great portion. That's a large number, when you step back and look at it. 144,000 prophets. And then you have the innumerable amount of men, women, and children that will also be delivered. All right. Which make up the 1/3. So, that should give us hope and faith. All right. Especially this is the time where the Lord, going to be showing out with his miracles. All right. And the Lord is going to be distributing that spiritual power as well. All right. So, yeah, Esau's going to come down with this, Gurga troops, they gonna, demonize the men of the Lord on a large scale. But nevertheless, in the midst of all that happening, the Lord gonna be distributing that power too. So the Lord is always gonna have something to where our faith is always gonna be there to overcome. The Lord is gonna continue to, strengthen those that, have the faith, which is a gift from Him. So with that being said, Lord's will, this was like an uplifting lesson through the Spirit. That, hey, we're in that time. All right. But the Lord is getting us ready to endure these things through faith. All right. And believing upon Him, and also, the works as well. All right. So this is more like an open forum. I didn't really have no precepts. I just wanted to roll in the Spirit and just see, what the Lord, would suffice me with for the time being in the Spirit. So with that being said, I want to say, call all Yahweh Shema Shai Bashem Kakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and citation to those of the hopeful elect. Shalom and a ball.